Welcome to Rotary, everyone. We're going to get started in a few minutes. Get settled in. And
one of the incredible things about Rotary is knowing that there are people across the world who you can connect with. For me, that's just given me a sense of power and belonging. So I know that I belong anywhere. And I know that I've got Rotary friends everywhere. Knowing that you've got a global reach of people who are like-minded, that's the wow factor.
Rotary is one of the most powerful international organizations that a young person can be involved in. It's one of the world's largest humanitarian organizations, has a membership of around 1.2 million members. It's located in over 200 countries and geographical regions. Pretty much any country you can think of, there'll be a Rotary Club there doing work in the local community, as well as connecting to each other across the globe, working together to make the world itself much better.
As Rotarians, being able to do things like start projects that have global impact. And I always talk to people about End Polio Now, because we wouldn't be where we are today in terms of polio in this world without Rotarians starting a project. For me, that's the power in everything that we do.
You have this incredible organization, this incredible network at your disposal where you can learn from, engage with, run things through the organization. Rotary has 7 focus areas where it focuses its energy and its time. Those key areas are disease prevention and treatment, peace and conflict resolution, water and sanitation, maternal and child health, basic education and literacy, and economic and community development. And then this year, a new key area was added, which is the environment.
Rotary has changed my life because it's enabled me to help more communities and more people. Rotary is relevant in our own backyards and it's relevant right across the world. I think the way that we're working now as Rotarians and Rotary clubs is really changing, not just because we're in the middle of a pandemic, but because we're really thinking more about how we bring people into Rotary and let people know that Rotary is for them. It's a great way, first of all, to meet people, but also to do good work in your community. It doesn't matter who you are, if you have got a heart and mind for giving and helping communities and working with people. Yes, Rotary is for you. That's what Rotary is. So yes, it's for everybody.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Rotary. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Cecily Smith, our District 7230 Grow Rotary Chair and a Zone 32 Innovative Club Advocate. So everyone, please stay muted during the presentation. You can unmute and talk during our breakout session. Feel free to use the chat box to talk to people, share ideas, and ask any questions. Also, feel free to use the Q&A if you want to ask any questions. The event will be recorded and posted on the district website. And just to quickly run through our program tonight, we are going to talk about you and the Rotary world. Next slide, please. There we go. What is a Rotarian and a Rotaractor? What does that mean and what is the responsibility? What is the history of Rotary? What is our foundation and what does it do? What about Rotary and polio? And you and the Rotary world? And then we're going to share some ideas in our breakout room and with each other. So now to kick us off, I would like to introduce the one, the only, the infamous. Please put your hands together for DG Mary Shackleton.
thank you, Cecily. So welcome to Rotary. Thank you for taking time to learn more about our organization and your role in it. It is our hope that after tonight's session, you'll have a little better understanding of what Rotary is, what Rotaract is, what the Rotary family does in our community, in our world, and that you will be a happy, delighted member of Rotary because it's all about your experience. We're here to help you have a great Rotary experience. So here is our fundamental statement together. We see a world where people unite and take action to create lasting change across the globe, in our communities, and in ourselves. So what does it mean to be a Rotarian or a Rotaractor? Congratulations, you're now part of 1.2 million Rotarians and around 200,000 Rotaractors throughout the world in about 35,000 Rotary clubs and 200,000 Rotaract clubs. And the action really happens in a club. So we are people of action. So are some of the things that you can expect, that you can hope to do, some sort of goalposts that you can set for yourself as you begin your Rotary or Rotaract journey? First of all, it's really great if you can take part in at least one or two meetings, events, social activities, community endeavors every month. So that's about 12 Rotary or Rotaract events per year. Your club should have at least two meetings or events a month. Please volunteer to be part of the committee. Speak up if you have questions about Rotary or your part in it or how your club functions. If you have suggestions, comments, things we could do a little bit differently, please speak up. And it's not required, but I think it's really a great goal, aspiration, that every Rotarian should donate at least $25 per year to our annual fund. We're going to talk a little bit more about our Rotary Foundation in just a minute. And each club, Rotaract Club, is independent and operates as its own special, unique entity. So we look forward to having your imprint on all of these different clubs and how they are going to grow into the future. Welcome to Rotary.
We are an inclusive organization. Rotary's president this year clearly stated, Rotary's leadership is united in stating that Rotary does not tolerate speech or behavior that promotes bias, discrimination, prejudice, or hatred because of age, ethnicity, race, color, abilities, religion, socioeconomic status, culture, sex, sexual orientation, or gender identity. There is no place within Rotary for racism, homophobia, transphobia, sexism, classism, or ageism. We do not believe that this is a political stance, and we do believe that we should openly discuss these issues within our organization. We are an inclusive group and all are welcome. And if you have any questions on how your club can be more inclusive, please reach out to the district or please reach out to the zone. I'm one of the zone people who goes around and talks to Rotary clubs about inclusion and accountability. I'm happy to come and talk to your club. I'm going to turn it back over to Mary for the next slide.
All right. And actually, Cecily, if I could add, every Rotaract club, every Rotary club should be a reflection of the community where that club resides. So think about that as you're looking at your club and your club's structure. So it's really important, and we want everybody to be welcome in Rotary. Rotary's values are incorporated in our 6 and soon to be 7 areas of focus. We promote peace. We provide clean water, sanitation, and hygiene. We support education. We fight disease. We save mothers and children, and we grow local economies. And in just a bit, we're going to talk about our 7th area of focus. Next slide, please. Supporting the environment. We are really excited that starting in July, we will have a 7th area of focus supporting our environment. More than 18 million in foundation global grant funding has been allocated to environment related projects for the next 5 years. This will create a distinct area of focus. In fact, one of our clubs is actually looking at creating a satellite club focusing on the environment, also known as an eco club. Rotary's primary corporate endeavor is the eradication of polio. In fact, some of you may have first heard of Rotary through our work to end polio now, or to work through the Global Polio Eradication Initiative. So far, we've helped immunize more than 2.5 billion children in 122 countries, and we've contributed $1.8 billion toward eradicating the disease worldwide. So that's an amazing track record. And we are counting down to 0. Once again, here is our vision statement. Together, we see a world where people unite and take action to create lasting change across the globe, in our communities, and in ourselves. All right, I think, are we ready to talk about the history of Rotary with Eric?
We are ready.
All right.
All right. Thank you, Governor Mary, and good evening, everybody, and welcome to Rotary. Now, you've joined a very special organization, and if you've been a member for a while, you already knew that. But if you're a new member, you should know that you've really joined an organization that will allow you to make a difference, both in your local communities and even around the world. As Paul Harris once said, whatever Rotary may mean to us, to the world, it will be known by the results it achieves. And we are being known by the results we've been achieving. We've been, in fact, nominated for a Nobel Prize. I'm not sure how many times we've been nominated, but I know we've been nominated for the work we have put into trying to eradicate polio from the world. And when it comes to Polio Plus, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation has given us almost $1 billion because they trust the work that we do, and we know that we'll accomplish what we've set out to accomplish. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. I mean, there's just so much that Rotary does around the world. Governor Mary alluded to it before, but I mean, as it says here, we work to help literacy and peace, water and health. You really are part of something special now. Next. Now, Rotary started back in 1905 when Paul Harris decided to move to Chicago, not knowing anybody. So he decided to make some business connections, and he met 3 other fellows, and they decided to start meeting regularly for lunch. And they would meet in each other's place of business, and hence the term Rotary came into being. So if anybody ever said Rotary is just a charitable group, no, it really started as a networking group. Little did these people know that these 4 people would one day start a movement that would, right now, have 1.2 million members. Now, you can't read this too well. It's a little fuzzy, at least on my computer. But if you look, well, yeah, this is better now. Thank you. If you look at some of the classifications from Paul Harris's day, and this is in the city of Chicago, I find it interesting that you had coal, mining. If you go a little further down, you see hay and grain. I mean, just interesting classifications. I'm not sure if Manhattan had this back then, but Chicago did. And these are some of the original Rotarians. Okay, we could shrink that again. There's the 4 people that started Rotary. Top left would be Paul Harris, and you also get to see the evolution of the Rotary wheel, the famous Rotary wheel. It literally was a wheel when you look at the top left, and it morphed over time into a gear, where if you look at the very bottom now, that is our Rotary Mark of Excellence, where the gear is to the right and Rotary is to the left. So if you print any documents or you embroider any clothing, make sure it looks like that. Otherwise, we'll get in trouble. Should be proud to know that you're part of 1.2 million members, 35,000 clubs around the world, 10,000 Rotaract clubs, 20,000 Interact clubs. Now, if you're a member of any club, you are in a sense a member of all clubs, and make-up meetings are encouraged. So if you are in Antarctica, you can't go back to your club and say, well, I couldn't make up a meeting. There's a club there for you there too. You should also know that we are in 159 countries, and there's over 220 countries when you start adding in associated territories, for instance, St. Thomas or some of these other, some of the islands. The very first international club was started in Winnipeg, Canada in 1910. The first non-North American club was formed in Dublin in 1911. Okay, you can see here that various countries around the world, and this is just the tip of the iceberg again, various countries around the world have honored us by putting the Rotary wheel on stamps around the world. You can see the top left, that's the United States stamp. That was printed in 1955 to celebrate Rotary's 50th anniversary. I actually have a sheet of those stamps. And it looks pretty nice when you see 50 stamps in a frame hanging on your wall. And if you're curious to know how you can get it, it's very simple. Just go on eBay. You probably you'll be able to get a sheet for yourselves at a pretty reasonable cost. Next sheet. You might find it interesting to know that Rotary's motto, service above self, didn't start out as service above self. In the second Rotary convention, wasn't international yet, second convention in Portland, Oregon, the term service, not self, was introduced. And they used that until 1950, when in Detroit, service above self was approved as the official motto of Rotary International. And it's been that way ever since. Finally, we'll wrap up speaking about the women in Rotary. If you look to the top left, you'll see it says inner wheel. Well, that used to be women's options when it came to being involved with Rotary. Basically, it was a club for the wives of Rotarians because it was a men's only club. Well, women wanted to become Rotarians too. And they sued, and they sued, and they sued some more. Until finally in 1987, the Supreme Court said that women cannot be kept out of a Rotary club based on their gender. So it opened up the doors to women being a part of Rotary, and they've made a huge impact ever since. In fact, Sylvia Whitlock was the very first president of a Rotary club in Duarte, California, in 1987. In 2005, Carolyn Jones became the first woman to be appointed as a trustee of the Rotary International Foundation. 2008, Catherine Neuer-Rivaux began her term as the first woman elected to the RI Board of Directors. 2013, Ann Matthews began her term as the first woman to serve as an RI Vice President. So she was, at that point, literally the heartbeat away from being the first Rotary International president, a female president. 2019, Brenda Marie Cressy served as a chair of the foundation, the first woman appointed to that role. And last but certainly not least, beginning July 1st, 2022, Jennifer Jones will become the first woman to serve as Rotary International's president. So I only spent a few minutes talking about Rotary's history, and obviously for a 116-year-old organization, there's an awful lot more that could have been said. So I would encourage you, if you found any of this interesting, go on Wikipedia, look up Rotary, go on rotary.org, and you'll get a lot more information that I think you'll find fascinating. You're part of a great organization, and I want to wish you well.
Foundation years ago. At Rotary's 1917 convention, President Arch Plump proposed an endowment for doing good in the world. His dream expanded the reach of Rotary far beyond the club. A contribution of $26.50 launched our foundation's endowment. A century later, we've spent more than $3 billion on humanitarian efforts worldwide.
Every Rotary project anywhere in the world always started out with one person who had an idea. And then they were able to grow and develop that idea by using that powerful network of Rotary to really change the world.
We are active, we are effective, we are really alive.
Our foundation has always been dedicated to improving lives. The first grant provided aid to disabled children. Today, we're on the verge of ending polio.
Et lorsque je vois une mère me sourire après avoir donné le vaccin à son enfant, cela comble ma journée de joie. Parce que j'ai la conviction que cet enfant ne sera jamais handicapé.
Without Rotary, this polio campaign wouldn't be anywhere. And the incredible effort that's been made from the very beginning is really unprecedented.
In the wake of a world war, we made a global impact by funding scholarships for international study. Today, we train the next generation of global peacemakers.
The Rotary Peace Fellowship takes people who have the desire to learn here and gives them that opportunity.
Good intentions alone are not sufficient. This is one of the most important things an international organization like Rotary should do.
We all see this as a passion. We've got to do something for change. Not only for young people today, but of tomorrow.
Rotary is dedicated to personal and professional connections, so we created Group Study Exchange, to build international understanding. Today, our foundation supports vocational training teams around the globe.
You turn the dial until this color matches this color. The VTT program allows people to bring specific skills to improve another country.
Rotarians wanted to broaden their impact, so our foundation began funding their projects. A decade later, we began supporting larger projects to address health, hunger, and other humanitarian needs. Today's large-scale grants are measurable and sustainable. They allow us to tackle humanity's greatest challenges. "100 years ago, Arch Klump had a vision. His vision has become our legacy.
The Rotary Foundation is a great tool to transform the world.
That's what Rotary is all about. Vision to see, faith to believe, and courage to act.
The Rotary Foundation. We are doing good in the world. Let's continue for the next 100 years.
Wow, the Rotary Foundation is truly the grease in our Rotary wheel. It's how we serve humanity. It's how we get projects done at a club and district level. So what makes the Rotary Foundation different from all other foundations? It returns money to districts. For those of you who give to our annual fund, that money is going to come back to District 7230, to your Rotary Club, for a district or global grant to fund your projects in 3 years' time. So it's an amazing thing. On average, and we need to do a little bit better, that means we get something like $70,000 or $80,000 a year to come back to work on our global and district projects. The Rotary Foundation is incredibly well managed. I mean, it's gotten a 4-star Charity Navigator rating for the last 17 or 18 years. It has over $1 billion in assets under a management. It's clearly our legacy as Rotarians. And these are slightly dated numbers here, but it kind of explains what the Rotary Foundation does. And if you have questions about that, I'd be happy to chat with you at length about how wonderful our foundation is. It's truly a passion for a lot of Rotarians, and why we are in Rotary and believe in Rotary. Here are some things that the Rotary Foundation helps for your club. A Rotary Foundation representative is near you at the District Rotary Foundation Committee. Our District Rotary Foundation Committee Chair this year, or DRFC, one of the first Rotary acronyms you might hear, is Laura Hugelmeyer from the Rye Rotary Club. Our grants subcommittee chair this year is David Shrimman from the Rotary Club of Metro New York City. David and Laura are happy to talk to you about grants. The grants team, the foundation committee are here to help you. And I'm here to help you if you have questions about how Rotary grant funding can help make your passion a reality. We are here to help you and answer your questions and point you in the right direction. This is a little bit about how the Rotary Foundation works, and it's kind of like a circle. So our support goes in at differing levels, and we can talk about those just briefly here. Every Rotarian every year, that's what we would encourage all of you to be on this call. That's $25 to one of the Rotary Foundation's fund, one of the primary funds, the annual fund. And it'd be really great if we had sustaining and Paul Harris fellow members. That's a sustaining member gets over $100 a year to the annual fund. A Paul Harris society member commits to 1,000 or more dollars to the annual fund per year, or the Polio Plus Fund. And we are delighted to recognize people who contribute $1,000 or more, or are found by their club or another Rotarian or Rotaractor to be a real servant of the community or of the club, and they can be made what's known as a Paul Harris Fellow. That's a real mark of distinction for a Rotarian. Then you see that there are three basic funds for the for the for the foundation: the annual fund, the endowment fund or the permanent fund, and the Polio Plus Fund. And then you'll see how these are all of these funds disperse money in district grants, global grants, and our amazing World Fund matches contributions. Actually, one of my Rotary moments, you hear a lot of people talking about Rotary moments over the course of over the course of their Rotary life. And one of mine was a project that we did as the Rotary Club of Metro New York City. We raised about $11,000 at our Bollywood in the Hamptons one, and we ended up through matching grants and other contributions, we made a project of nearly $50,000, which supported a prosthetic limb camp near Calcutta, India, for a year and a half, and saved or changed the lives of 1,200 people who needed mobility assistance. I know we're going through all of this pretty quickly. Laura and the grants team can help. They approve district grants. They approve district contributions to global grants. They provide training and grant certification. And these are important rules. The Rotary Foundation, as I said, has a 4-star Charity Navigator ratings. So the process of maintaining that rating means that we are going to look at sustainability. We're going to look at stewardship. So part of the process of applying for grants is becoming trained and certified in the grant process. There are a lot of great resources. David Shribman and the grants subcommittee has spent a lot of time simplifying and clarifying what it means to get a district or global grant in District 7230. That's where we all reside, the 46 clubs that make up District 7230. In the summer 2021, we will provide grant certification, and there's also grant-related coursework in the Rotary Learning Center. And I would encourage all of you as newer Rotarians and Rotaractors to take advantage of the Rotary Learning Center. If you want to ask more questions about the course, I'd be happy to help. If you go to myrotary.org, make sure you register for an account, and part of that registration will entitle you to access Rotary's Learning Center. The Rotary Foundation has a network of 700 Rotarian volunteers that help with grants. They're known as the cadre of technical advisors, and they're also available to you for your questions, especially if you're looking at a complicated or novel grant idea. We also have amazing staff at the Rotary Foundation known as grant officers. They're available for one-on-one consultation. And if you're looking at developing a global grant, meaning a larger project with a budget of $30,000 or more, they can really help get you started, the grants officers. They even have a little questionnaire that will help you figure out whether your project is potentially grant eligible. This is just the amazing thing, and we hope that this is the start of your Rotary journey, your Rotary stories. And for as little as 60 cents, you can protect a child from polio. $50 can provide clean water to help fight waterborne illness. $500 can launch an anti-bullying campaign and create a safe environment for children. And just to give you some examples that have happened in our very own district, the Rotary Club of Yonkers, East Yonkers, helped refurbish basketball courts in the city of Yonkers, and they did that through a global grant. The Rotary Club of Chinatown has been helping Chinese restaurateurs and other businesses in Chinatown make it through the COVID-19 pandemic. And that was also done through a Rotary grant. So we have grant funded projects right here in our district. There are also local district, smaller grant projects, providing computers to classrooms, providing music to an elementary school or a junior high school that needs them. It's just amazing what your donations can do. And we're hoping that your ideas, your passions can be made real through a grant that we have available. So we're going to have a foundation recognition dinner or recognition event on Wednesday, May the 12th. We'll be honoring those folks who have really gone out of their way to support our foundation. We'll be talking a little bit more in detail about what our foundation does both here in District 7230 and throughout the world. And then we'll also be joining, I know Cecily's going to talk a little bit more about some of these concepts. We are, your club is part of a district, which is part of a zone. So zones 28 and 32, which is the I-95 corridor going from Pennsylvania up to Maine and most of Canada, Alaska, and a few dips into the States, as well as some islands off the coast of France. We're going to be celebrating our foundation. And if you're a 70s rock fan, like I am, Alex Lifeson from Rush will be one of the performers. All right, we're ready for another video.
For each of us, there are moments that define us. Moments where we fought for what we believed.
A moment Berliners have waited 28 years for.
When we pushed the boundaries to the unknown. Moments that remind us of a past we cannot accept and that create within us the desire to take a stand and do something. 30 years ago, polio was claiming the lives of hundreds of thousands of children just like me. There was a vaccine that could help stop it, but it wasn't reaching all of us. Until you decided to step in and do something. You decided to find a way to reach us all, no matter where in the world we might be. It all started with one small project, and 6 million children were saved from polio forever. The world took notice, and things began to change. On streets, on trains, planes, boats and bicycles, over deserts and rivers, mountains and valleys, through jungles and war zones, you never stopped. But it can't end here. We are this close, the closest that we've ever been. 3 countries remain, and we must continue to strive to reach every last child. Because every life truly does matter. And together, you have proved that when you put service above self, the world can be a much better place.
Since 1985, Rotary has been the foundation on which the polio eradication program is built.
Last year, we saw just 37 cases, the lowest number in history.
Thanks to your efforts, more than 16 million people are walking today who would otherwise have been paralyzed.
Thanks to your vision, humanity is on the verge of one of the greatest public health achievements in history.
While our work is not yet done, the remarkable dream that you had 3 decades ago to tackle one of the world's greatest public health challenges, the end of polio, is nearly a reality.
Thanks to you, we truly are this close to ending polio.
Thanks to you, we are truly this close to ending polio.
Thanks for sharing that, Frank. I get choked up every time I watch that video of what the world of Rotary can do. And since that video was made a few years ago, we are now down to polio in only 2 countries. Nigeria has been declared polio free. So this is what we can do together. Again, hi, I'm Cecily Smith, our District's Grow Rotary Chair. And you may also be saying to yourself, okay, great. I'm a Rotarian and we're talking about the world of Rotary. Where do I fit in? And that's a darn good question. So let's talk a little bit about the world of Rotary. You're in a Rotary club. As Mary talked about again, Rotary clubs only have to, at minimum, meet twice a month, which is a meeting, fellowship, service project, co-meeting, all sorts of things. Follow the RI Constitution and district map, excuse me, and all the fine print. Pay your RI and district dues. The rest is up to each individual club, and all club members should be allowed to share their ideas. Clubs can decide for themselves what their own club dues are and how they meet and when they meet and where they meet. Your club is in an area, which means the clubs that are right around you, grouped together. And what's great is you can work on projects together. You can do a lot more and your impact increases. A few examples from my own area of Manhattan. Every year we have a holiday party and toy drive. And we even figured out a way to do something in the pandemic virtually last year, where clubs in Manhattan, Rotary and Rotaract come together and help an East Harlem toy shelter, soup kitchen. We volunteer in service. We have come together for several years in an area barbecue on the Hudson River. That idea of working with your area clubs gives you more impact on your work and more fun. Your areas come together as a district. We are 7230, Bermuda, Bronx, Manhattan, Staten Island, and Westchester. Some districts have clubs that are very geographically close together. Some districts have clubs that span multiple countries, such as ours with Bermuda as part of our district. There are roughly 535 Rotary districts around the world. This map just kind of gives you an idea of what New York looks like with the different districts around. You are in a zone. About 18 districts get grouped together in a zone. Our zone is Pennsylvania, New Jersey, New York, Connecticut, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine. There are 34 zones in the world, and 2 zones are paired with a director. So our board of directors has 17 people from around the world. Our director right now is the amazing Valerie Wafer, and she serves a 2-year term as a director. Our current president is Holger Knack, and each president serves a 1-year term. And all these people from around the world in such disparate places come together to create vision and policy and direction for this organization to kind of bring us all together. Because as someone has said, it's sort of like moving an air carrier. It's kind of a slow process making change in Rotary, and they come together from around the world to make it happen. Rotary has become a virtual world, which is kind of cool. We discovered in the pandemic, just like we're meeting tonight, where we might not have all come together to meet in person, we can hop on a Zoom event. If you missed our 75 years of action, our district leading an international team, it is on our district's YouTube channel. And another example of what the zone does is this Wednesday, Public Image the Musical. Your email that had an invite to tonight has an invite for this event that will help your club's public image and impact exponentially. So check it out this Wednesday. The convention this year is virtual, so you can go online and join the virtual convention. Pretty much Google it and you'll find the information. And I, as a zone coordinator for innovation and new clubs and membership, help do trainings and visit clubs and visit districts and talk about stuff like this. Now, action groups are something out there beyond your club. They provide assistance and support to Rotary clubs in planning and implementing community development. Each Rotary club can't do every single cause for financial donations and hands-on service. It's just not possible. But what if you have a passion for a cause that you really want to work with and learn more about? You can join an action group. These are just a few examples of action groups that are out there. So if you have your cause that you're passionate about, you can find a way, even outside your club, to be a part of helping make that happen. Rotary fellowships are the same, but for fun. It's international groups for people that share a common passion. Being a part of a fellowship lets you make friends around the world, share a hobby or a professional experience, from scuba diving to business networking, to the LGBTQ community, to beer and whiskey tasting and yoga. There is a fellowship out there for you. There's 90+ fellowships. It is a very cool thing to do. And when you're someday post-pandemic traveling around, you could find an activity with someone in your fellowship around the world. As Mary mentioned, the Learning Center is out there. Whether it's your club's duties, diversity, community engagement, public speaking, there are so many things that you can learn through the Learning Center. I definitely advise checking it out when you can. Rotary also has discussion groups, project showcases to find a cause and project you want to support, or to post a project that you want people to fund. And Raise for Rotary, you'll be hearing more about tomorrow. Rotary Rewards is a discount program. Everybody shops. You can look at Rotary Rewards and see different ways that you can save money. There is a Zoom Rotary discount out there that saves Rotary clubs 20% by using their Rotary Rewards discount. So again, something just to check out. It's a little perk about being a Rotarian. As we've mentioned before, visit other clubs. Rotary.org and look for a search. There's a club locator app for your phone. Whether you're on vacation or business travel post-pandemic, visit another club. It is such a cool experience to be somewhere else in the world and go to a Rotary meeting. And if it says Rotary International, like Rotary Club of Berlin International, that means that the meeting is in English. So whether you're going online virtually right now or someday back out there in the physical world, go visit another Rotary club. Thank you. Thank you. Again, if your club ever wants to talk about ways that you can be innovative, shake things up, or looking to start a satellite club, I'm here and happy to help.
Seconds in their rooms, so be patient. Either they kick themselves out like you have, or they will get kicked out shortly. We're trying to be respectful of everybody's time this evening. So give us a moment while everybody makes their way back here to the main room.
We needed more time. More time.
Yeah.
There's never enough time for all these great ideas.
But these were passionate people.
Yeah.
Very.
But this is what's going to happen. We're going to report back. We're going to play a closing song, and then people can stay and continue to chat their passions. So, thank you so much for everyone. I know it's hard to share all these great ideas in just a little amount of time. We're ask each person from each breakout room in less than a minute. Please share some of the things that your group talked about that was exciting. Frank, I don't have all the recordings, so I'm just going to, the names, I'm just going to go by room number. Hopefully people know their numbers. Group 1.
Cecily,
I think that might have been.
Cecily, in the chat, I made it if in your chats, if you notice. So in room 1 was you, Cecily. So Cecily, you're up.
Okay, so actually, Tasmaine is going to talk about what we chatted. So Tasmaine, you might have to unmute.
Hello, everyone. So, well, Cicely said that she's been talking all day, so she wanted me to go. First of all, I should introduce myself. My name is Tasman Warren. I am a Rotaractor with the Rotary Club of Manhattan, NYC. And also we're forming a new Rotary Club, the Rotary E-Club Vision. And this is with Abbott Ragbeer. I'm pretty sure many of you know who Abbott is. But yeah, our discussion was pretty exciting. And I think like most groups, we wish we had more time. So one of the things that we covered that was really exciting for me was well, President Garrett was in our group, and he mentioned a service gratitude mural that they're trying to do with his club, and it is just one where they're painting a huge mural, and they're employing looking at a few artists to present on just different ideas to present their image. Secondly, we spoke about the amazing opportunities that we do have coming back from a virtual platform for over the past year, and how we can incorporate this virtual and in-person projects. We also mentioned the possibilities for amazing projects that impact our environmental community, not just socially, but projects that can assist our living environment. So those were a few of the things that we did talk about. Also, ways in which clubs can collaborate, whether it's from different cities or communities, and just to come together to make our vision possible.
Thank you so much, Tasmaine. I appreciate it. And I'm excited about your new club that's forming. So group 2, what did you guys talk about?
This was Mary's group.
Yes, and I nominate Eileen Gallagher. If you're on, please unmute and share a little bit about what our group discussed.
Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes.
Okay. You know what? I'm on phone today, and I don't know how to use Zoom on the phone.
You're good.
So I don't have to look at myself now. I'm on a different screen. I don't know where I am. Okay. I was honored to be in the room with Mary and some really stellar Rotarians, as well as some newer Rotarians. And we kind of recognized a few high points, one of which Greg Arcaro from the Yonkers group was talking about their awesome grant for basketball courts, which was coupled with an anti-bullying campaign. He said that while the project was great, he wished that they would have consulted with someone who was very experienced with the anti-bullying. But that aside, they were really happy with the project. So I guess point taken that always look for help with these projects. And I mentioned something about a project that I had reported on, Cynthia Peterson of Grace Notes, who performs, it's an orchestra that performs in prisons. And I thought it was a fantastic idea. And I was just kind of mentioning how our world is really hurting, and, music is a universal language. And wouldn't it be awesome for Rotary to have, and it might be being done already, but wouldn't it be awesome for Rotary to have a grant, for unity in music? And there was discussion about membership and how Mary kind of pointed out in the beginning of this meeting tonight, that find out what passions people have and kind of gear projects toward those passions. And I hope I covered everything.
Thank you so much, Eileen. Room 3, we had Eric and Mahbub. So Eric and Mahbub, one of you gents want to tell us about your room?
You know that.
Yeah, hi. Yeah, okay. I was waiting for you. Yeah, hi. My name is Vinod Chitkara. Our group, actually, we didn't get to talk about too many ideas. One person is brand new, just moved to the, considering joining the Rotary, and two of us joined it once the COVID started. So our experience was rather limited. Only one of the members, she was here to reacquaint herself what the Rotary has done. So I think mostly what we talked about is how grateful we were in having found the Rotary organization in our lives. And most of us just getting used to it, except one, Miss Westmoreland, if I got the name right. She's been with us 7 years, but the rest of us are just feeling our way and trying to get to know the Rotary organization better. And this meeting helped us do that. So that's all I'll say.
Thank you so much, and welcome to the Rotary family.
Thank you.
Room 4, Marty and Mats. One of either of you gentlemen or someone else in the room.
Well, I took notes, so I want to just say.
I guess all right.
First of all, wow, what an experience tonight has been. Everyone in our room felt the exact same way about it. Great presentation, great work, Cecily, Mary. Frank, thank you. The thing that really was the wow factor in terms of experience and excitement was meaningful relationships among us. Why people joined, primarily the newest area of focus, the environment, projects on the environment. Second, health and literacy. Our members in our room range from brand new to just before COVID, to 3 years in the Chinatown Club, and 2 members who joined during COVID to the Bronxville Club. And then there was Mats and I, who meet all the time. So I have to say that by and large, the projects that their clubs are getting into are exciting enough that they were able to tell us a lot about their projects in a short period of time. I won't go into all of them, but suffice it to say that any club in our district is welcome to join with any of these clubs, Chinatown, Larchmont, Bronxville, in doing further projects, and Rotaract. And so it was a really exciting breakout room. I feel like all 40 or so of us here tonight are going to be leaders in our district. You're all great Rotarians. I hope you get as much out of the experience as what I heard tonight in our breakout room.
Thank you so much, Marty. And now room 5, Abbott and Amir. Abbott, tell us a little bit about what you guys chatted on. Or if she's not on the call, Amir, if you're still here.
I was actually, hi, I'm Christine. I was actually volunteered to speak for the group.
Thank you, welcome.
Thanks. We didn't get to talk too much about the projects. I'm brand new to this. I haven't actually volunteered with anyone yet, but I met a few people, which is how I got to get into this. But we talked about our interests as far as what we're passionate about and what we want to get into, as well as I know Faraz is going to go to a first time in-person meeting, I think tomorrow. But yeah, excited to be here and learn more and to get into the community and just volunteer more.
We're so happy that you're here. So thank you for coming tonight, Christine.
Yes.
And then our last room, room 6, Bina, or someone else reporting back from that room.
Hi, I'm Gene Oliver. I'm the president of the Bronx Rotary Club. And we had in our room, Mickey O'Connor from Peekskill, who's only been a Rotarian there for a month. Carolyn Harrison, also from the Bronx Club, over 1 year with us. Francis from New Rochelle. And some of the ideas we kicked around were from Peekskill, the Cherry Blossom fundraiser that's coming up, and she was excited about that. Francis talked about the overall idea of giving back. New Rochelle, they take out the elderly senior citizens to a park nearby. And they also provide barbecue foods and other recreational stuff for them, which is a project they do each year, apparently. And for the Bronx Rotary Club, we are very passionate about our help to the Udamishi Club of Nigeria. And we've helped them with a water filtration project. And we also are excited because we are getting a number of our volunteer clubs in the District 7230 to join us with that and providing at least 10 more water filtration projects in Nairobi with the Udamishi Club. And that's about all we've discussed on in room 6. There was only 4 of us. I was a little surprised. I thought we'd have a few more, but there it is.
Thank you so much, Eugene. We really appreciate it. And thank you everyone for taking some time with your ideas. When we send out the wrap up email to everyone in the next day or so with links and everything, we're going to share some of these cool ideas that are out there. You guys are also going to hear about an international project that we kicked the district conference weekend off with in Nakavali Camp in Uganda, that any club can be part of this international project for just $100. And then we're going to be sharing how this process happens throughout, so you can kind of learn a little bit more about how to do an international project. And then there'll be follow-up details on the Paul Harris dinner along with that email. So Mary, if you have any closing words, and then after Mary speaks, we've got a closing song. And if you have any questions or want to continue the discussion, please stay around after the song. We will still be here. If not, after that, please thank you so much for your time. And then the song officially ends our meeting. And for your evening, we appreciate your time. So closing words for Mary for our song.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much for your time. And as I wrote in the chat, Rotary is a force multiplier, so may the force always be with you. Welcome to Rotary. For those vets on the call, I hope that you've also gotten your enthusiasm shot for the day, because Rotary really is a way that we can do good in the world and make changes in our community and in ourselves. So thank you, thank you. Let's close with the song. I think we've talked about some of the upcoming district events. Stay tuned for more details about all of them, and have a really great Monday night and a great start to the week.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build good? Will it better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? When we pay it forward, it will be returned. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build good? Will it better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? When we pay it forward, it will be returned. When we pay it forward, it will be returned.
All right. 4 steps.